Hey, hi. How's everybody doing today on a Saturday? At least that's when I'm shooting this video. Welcome back to the channel. We're getting ready to finish up. I guess I should say I'm getting ready to finish up these postcards for the great, wonderful, infamous Aunt Irma. This is one of the tattoo flash versions I'm doing, so I thought I would go ahead and film this. Just show you how I spit fade everything using minimal colors, brown, green, red, black, and gray. A little flashy, kind of bright. So yeah, it's going to be just kind of a relaxing video. I'll kind of explain some things as I go, and then I'll let you watch in silence and relax. This paper, a little bit here, this paper is, it's watercolor paper, but it's really smooth toothed. So there's not a lot of grain to the paper. It's very smooth. I'm also using Dr. P.H. Martin's concentrated watercolor for the black, which I don't typically do. I usually use an ink. But I thought I'd try this just to see what kind of gradient I would get, how it pulls, you know, things like you always learn something. The line work also with this was done with a pen and nib with ink, not with my standard marker or like a Sharpie or the uni markers that I use. So a little bit challenging. There are some defects in it, but still pretty clean for a first time pull with that utensil. Not overall unhappy, but could be cleaner. On a side note, I'm doing a voiceover for this, so it's going to pick up some extra sounds if you hear airplanes or somebody comes in and I'm talking or something like that. We're just going to let it roll. You also might hear some sound from the stereo shop next door. I think they hired out some pole dancers from the coal mines of West Virginia or something over there. I don't know what exactly is going on. All it is a bunch of so I don't know if it's like a daytime rave or like they're handing out those pink frosted animal cookies. I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but it's been banging my doors all morning. So there's that, which is kind of cool. Adds a little flavor to the shop for the day. Also, Brian next door was fondling a Depeche Mode vinyl, which it just borders on communism, but I didn't report him. So there's that. So I'm just going to work all the black and gray in this. It is a swallow by traditional standards. I'm going to make it into like a red-bellied, like a red-winged blackbird kind of bird. I don't want to use blue or orange or anything like that. I just want to keep it fairly simple. So we'll just run the black and gray here, spit fading and getting my gradient down the leaves and everything, and then into the bird. I'll kind of move up the page here. Maybe I'll do the bird next, and then into the rest of the leaves, I think is how I did it. Any questions or anything, just lay them out in the comments. And while you're doing that and watching, reach down and subscribe to the channel, please. Like it, get the post notifications, blah, blah, blah. Share it with your friends. Let them know that I'm doing this channel and putting up content so that I'm not doing it in vain. Please. For the love of fuck. Tell people about it. It should be relaxing. You should be able to learn some stuff. I'll have some cooking stuff coming up next week on the channel, so that'll be cool. And some taxidermy stuff coming up in the near future where I'm going to do a shoulder mount deer, the last one I've got to do for the season. Anyway, sit back, relax, and I'll chime back in if there's anything important maybe once I start the color. right here, you notice that when I drew this, I didn't draw the primary wing lines far enough, or at least where I maybe wanted them. So when I did my gradient fade there, um, I shagged it, left it kind of short, and you could still see the end of the marker, which I do not want. So I had to pull that line, add some more ink, and pull that black down farther toward the wingtip there. Something typically I would try to avoid. Doesn't look bad. It's not incorrect. It's just not what I would wish for it. At some point in here, I realized that this little liner brush that I'm using to pull my black holds a hell of a lot more paint than I would really like. I don't need that much. So one dip goes a long ways. Said no girl ever. Um, it was just, I had to get used to it pretty fast. I had to make some adjustments on the fly. Overall, I like how this um, ink, the paint, the watercolor, I like how it fades. It's very smooth, and it's overall pretty controllable. And I don't typically work on a smooth paper, and I didn't mind it. You just can't overwork it. You just have to move with intent and get it done and move on. But it does leave a nice, smooth gray gradient as you pull it out. It's pretty nice. You can see me reaching over there. Dip. Those are actually ink caps that I use for tattooing. You buy them by the thousands when I buy them. And they work great for disposable ink caps. And since there's paint or ink left in there, watercolor, liquid watercolor left in there, I will, after I was done with this, I went back and just grabbed the little eyedropper and sucked the remainder and put it right back in the bottle. So you really don't waste a whole hell of a lot. This stuff goes a really long ways. It's expensive, but it really lasts a long time. Just give it a shake once a week and you're good. That's what she said. That's kind of a good look at what I do there. So when I spit fade to do that, I'm pre-wetting the area that I'm going to pull. That helps the paint flow into the area and only the area that I want it to. Watch me do it here. See, I'm painting through. That's just water in there, just inside the lines, and then I'll grab that paint back and forth and pull. Now wash out a little bit and just keep thinning it out until it goes to nothing. This technique, like pre-wetting like that and pulling the ink, um, you can employ this in your regular watercolor landscaping or anything else, or in an abstract type of loose watercolor. You'll see me do it when I do florals a lot. Just washing out here. You can see the reflection in the glass. And we're going to move on to some color now. You see me using the eyedropper to drip in some paint there. I think I went with scarlet red, saddle brown, and jungle green. I've been using more of a olive or a sap green. I thought I'd go with something a little more overall bright traditional, like a dragon green, which would be labeled as jungle green in this, but it's a little more like a phthalo green. It's really strong and rich, has a good amount of blue in it. It's a pretty green. It just livens everything up. It's not as earth toned as a sap green or an olive green would be. This is the saddle brown. You can see how dark it is. And as we move along here with the brown, you'll see me come back and lift some of that out, um, because it's so concentrated. It just takes very little. You could pre-mix this with water if you wanted to. I don't do that. I would rather lift it on the paper and use it beyond that capacity of pre diluting it. I think it makes the flash altogether look better. You can see me lifting up there. I've got a little black on my brush. It's kind of pissing me off right there. So I keep moving and then I'll wash out and lift that back out of there again. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the wind is blowing like a son of a bitch out there today. It's howling through the door. Sounds like I got Zamfir, Master of the Pan Flute, standing out front. You can see the difference in richness as I've used the paint that's on the paper to actually fill some of these. And now I'm moving on to red. This is a really nice color that P.H. Martin's makes. It's scarlet. It has a decent orange quality to it, but it's a very nice, rich, traditional red color. Sometimes I find that those can be a little too cherry or too dark, and I don't like that. I want a bright red, and I think that little bit of orange quality in there helps to lift that up off the paper a little bit. Here I'm going to do the same thing I would do with black, except I'm doing it with red. You can, just because the paint is a different color doesn't mean you can't employ the same tactics. So here I'm pre-wetting. I'm going to grab that red and pull down and dilute as I pull down. So it's mixing with the water that's already there and thinning it, diluting itself. Now you can see I have a gradient there. If there's something you guys would like to see me do, painting wise, whether it be a piece of tattoo flash or an image like that you'd want to see me paint, how I do it, how I approach it from start to finish, comment down below in the comment section, and I will try to do my best to answer and accommodate and do that. It helps me come up with content, and if it gets you involved in the channel, then all the better, I think. I encourage that involvement from you, and I'd be happy to do a watercolor that you've been wanting to see, or a picture that you want to see painted. Coming back here with just a little, I picked up a little off the body just to gray that beacon. I didn't want it to be white, and I didn't want to use yellow or orange. Here's that green. You can see how rich that is. And that was one dip with that brush. I just went straight in with the regular brush because I knew I could lift enough to pretty much take care of everything I needed green with. You can see how when it pulls back how dark it is, and I'm just lifting it off and I go right to another leaf. It's so rich. Lift off again, just drawing it right up into the bristles of the brush. Little light, lift off again. You can see I was lifting towards the black fade because if I touch any of that black, too much of it, it'll pull and it'll mix with the green, and I don't want that. We're rounded third and headed for home here on this. I want to thank everybody for watching, taking the time out of your busy day to relax and view the channel. It does really help me out. Got myself a little stamp here, so I'm going to put the old Trinity tattoo, Indiana Trinity Llewellyn Setter stamp on here and sign my name, because if I don't, Aunt Irma she'll chew me a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double wide asshole if I don't. So there it is. I'll give the old fucking Long John Silver on there. And there you have it. Thanks for showing up, guys. I'll see you next time right here on the Trinity Collective.